Good, good. Okay, let's slowly tune into our podcast. Good. So we are here today with Harri Piispanen.
Yes.
Yes, you are a visual artist and also a performer.
Mhm.
You are currently in Helsinki, in Finland, where you are also from.
Mhm.
And you covered a wide range of interests in your art. Your art somehow revolves around creation of objects, and
Mhm.
and also wearing them on your body. And you are also an educator. You lead workshops. You're in environmental arts in environmental arts, and so what interests me today is yeah. You also presented your work 5 times in Keha festival, so you
Yeah.
are you are a veteran.
I'm not sure I'm the official record holder, but
Yeah,
yes, one of them.
one
I
of
think
them.
it's the title is contested at the moment. I
Yeah.
think it's between me and Antti Tolvi.
Oh, okay. Great. So my question for today is who is Harry right now and what occupies you? What occupies you in your work right now?
Oh, art wise, it's more mostly I'm doing with facilitating. I also work as a producer, and
Mm,
that's kind of like my main cup of tea at the moment. It's helping out others with organizing exhibitions, and I work at the Helsinki city for the children's art center, and that's that's the main thing that's keeping me busy at the moment. But that doesn't mean that I would completely abandon my own projects either.
mm,
I do tend to keep them alive as well, and funny enough, some of them are like reoccurring ones. It's when I make an object, I tend to
mhm,
go back to that same object and try to figure out different ways
mm,
how to act with it, how to play with it, use it as a stage or whatever. So
mm.
I'm this summer, for example, I'm getting back into the coffin, which I
Oh,
made. Wait, it was 2014, I think. So it's a 12-year-old project, which is more or less an ongoing one.
mm.
So that's one you can literally say that that's one thing that occupies me because it's the work is titled "It's a Job." So it's,
Okay. So this occupies you, the coffin occupies you. And as I hear from you, as all of us on independent art scene, we are doing much more than one job.
definitely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm curious when you say coffin and everything that is around coffins. I'm curious to see it and good. So you presented your work, Barn Landscapes, last year in October at Keha Festival and
Mhm.
also One-to-One Festival. Um, in Finnish, it's what is the name of the Lattomaisena?
Latomaisema, yes, yes,
Lattomaisena.
very good
Oh.
pronunciation, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, can you tell us a bit about this work and how did you came up with from where the idea originated?
Mhm. Yeah, like said before, like many times I make objects, and this is like the basis or like a pivotal point in all of the things that I do. And this one was made as a response to an environment. We were working in a residency in Pietarsaari in Finnish Ostrobothnia, and well, the theme there was a hidden room. So we kind of like explored spaces that were more or less hidden one way or the other, and I kept noticing that these barns tend to be like a staple feature of the landscape. So I thought that, well, perhaps I should make a barn that could somehow move about, and then I made a miniature version of a more or less typical barn structure that I could wear as a hat, or or others can wear it as a hat.
Or a head.
And yeah. Kind of like to animate the object somehow, so that it has the possibility to go and explore places, and that was my way of answering the theme of hidden spaces, because we, during the residency, we were allowed to go to places where people normally don't get to go, like to the city hall, for example. And yeah. So the barn went there, and it was a performance work, and then also during the residency it was a video piece as well. It's went several ways.
Okay, so you kind of gave the barn the possibility to travel as your head, and to see the and you recorded it. So it wasn't originally made for one-to-one, but you redesigned it for one-to-one form.
Yeah. It's the thing that I'm most critical about my own work is that when I get to make these objects and wear them, it's very a personal experience, and that's rarely something that I get to share. So I thought that, what if the tables would be turned this time, so that the actual participant, in this case a one-to-one work, would be the one who would get to wear the barn. Because I mean, I'd say that's, well, I'm not sure, but I suppose that's a rare occasion.
Yeah.
And then thinking of how to like recreate the journey that the barn went in Pietarsaari area. And yeah, so then it transformed into a private movie theater in a way. So the movie that was filmed was projected also onto the barn, so that the person who is actually physically within the barn gets you the journey from journey of the barn from within the barn.
Yeah. So the participant is wearing a barn through which he watches a barn traveling through the different landscapes. And
yes.
Yeah, I'm asking because in our podcast we are trying to see what are the different possibilities that you can encounter in one-to-one art, and also different roles of in every one-to-one piece. The spectators have a role that is not just as a witness or a spectator, but also has a sometimes it's an immersive role, or they're given tasks, or they have so they have different different roles. So what is the role of a participant, passive, or how it is for you when you have a person in the room holding a barn on the head? Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah.
In the case of the barn, it is more. Then I think it's more like a passive for the spectator. In that case, they are mainly a spectator. Obviously, they I want the participant to feel in control, so that if you feel yourself uncomfortable, you're allowed to say it, and then we can try to adjust the situation so that if the participant is willing, then we can continue from the beginning to the end, which were quite clear in this case because the video is, what was it, 3 or 4 minutes long. So that's kind of a brief, and then I usually give like an interactive moment after that. So if you feel the need that you want to reflect on what you just experienced and what you saw, that would be the interactive part. So I'd say there is a passive element in being a spectator within the barn, and then there is a more of an active element. If you so choose, that you can have a conversation with me, and then we can about whatever rises either from the experience, the piece, or the weather.
But so I was I witnessed and experienced the barn, and it seems that this kind of barn it has also a symbolical meaning for Finnish people, and has some sentimental value or carries some nostalgia.
Very much so, yeah.
For people. This was my first encounter, although in Sweden they also have, I mean, for me, it's always this little red hus, lilla, liten hus. And, but it's a different one, and I had to Google it a bit, and there are so many oil on canvas, old paintings of this barn. Yeah. So what does it carry for people? I mean, in Finland, does it carry for you this house?
I suppose like the sentimental value is the topmost feeling for most people. I'd say it's a part of a way of living, of agriculture that's no longer with us at the moment. I mean, it's some of the structures were used to store hay, so they were like really loosely built so that the hay wouldn't rot, so that air would flow through it and the hay would dry and so on. But I mean, today you don't need structures like that. The hay comes, you collect it with a machine, and which wraps it in plastic, and it stays fresh. And it's a completely different story. So people hold on to the structures for sentimental reasons, and then when someone like traditional landscape painters, when they paint a landscape of Finland, somehow the barn seems always to be there. It's I feel like I probably have being mostly living in the suburbs, so it's not a part of my past in that sense. So I've been always like curious, like why is this popping up everywhere? It's so common that it's I'd say that it's almost become a bit kitsch.
But I was amused how many people had some connection with the barn. I mean, I can remember. Of course, we have barns, but this seemed very special. But and there are some memories when you were a kid and you wander alone somewhere in the summer, and then you enter in the house that has open doors, so you enter, and it has this strong connection. But somehow there is a lot of course, this is my perceiving of your art. There is somehow a lot of humor in it, and are you trying to point that at anything? Like you said, this is a kitsch. Are you trying to underline or putting little irony in stuff, or you're just humorous person?
I'd say it's not something that I do on purpose. I mean, obviously, I found the idea of like making a miniature barn and putting it on my head and running around Pietarsaari area naked. It's of course I do find that very humorous.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I'd say it comes from my personality more or less.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
I tend to gravitate towards things I find funny, or there's some weirdness there that I can relate to, that I want to experience myself, and of course then share it
Yeah.
via the artwork.
I mean, through this, and it's for me, it's great that it's not so underlined. It's not funny, haha, and but there is this slight irony, or and it gives distance to art in a way, and then I feel much safer because I don't need to understand something, and it's just my experience of art and associative mind and where it takes me. I mean, for me,
Mhm.
for instance, when I was in the barn, in one moment, so because there is a door of the barn and the walls are loose, so you can see through the walls.
Yeah.
And then while watching the movie of you going with a house through Ostrobontia, and I was thinking, look at this crazy neighbor. He has a barn on his head. And then I figure out, oh my God, but I have a barn on my head too.
Exactly.
So it one moment really put me in this position of like a common, the neighbor story. Look at them, what are they doing now?
And then realizing,
Oh, I'm
right.
I'm doing it also. Yeah. Yes, great. Yeah, and so you performed at Keha five
Mhm.
times. Uh, and you usually work with objects. Uh,
Yeah.
um, I read. I went on your site today to just remember a bit, and then you said I wear them as a burden, or I read that somehow somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I wonder what is your relationship towards objects? How did you? So they have a significance in your art.
Yeah. The burden fit part is true. I want them to have like a really. I want them to be like really tangible, so that they have a physical presence. And one part of performing, what I do enjoy, that it is also a physical feat that you do,
Mhm.
so that the objects usually are, they tend to be quite heavy or cumbersome, and you might not think that they are meant to be worn as a hat, for
Mhm.
example. So it's not the most comfortable thing to do, to wear the barn, for example, for an hour or so. Then it
Yeah,
starts to really, you start to feel it for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I somehow I like that the objects have they have a sense of material which is somehow really strong. I mean,
Hmm.
I come from a background of really material based arts.
Hmm.
I was trained in glass and ceramics, and both of those materials have a typical feel to them. So I think that's something that I do that whether I want to or not, or I always even realize it.
Hmm.
It's yeah.
But they have some kind of significant meaning or feeling, and
Mm.
also through this relationship they build up.
Mhm.
I mean, I saw the just a small video from your piece Body Count where you have these uh, kids' toys. You
Yeah.
have the suit made of little dolls, and it seems very heavy.
Yeah, it's above 45 kilos the
My
entire
God.
costume, and it's there are these plush cuddly toys, and each one of them have their head cut off, so they're sewn from their like their neck to the.
Oh,
There's hundreds and hundreds of them, so
oh,
it's essentially a fur coat, kind of like the outer shell that you build that you want to show. This is the side that I want to show to people. I have this.
mm,
This is me. I'm soft and cuddly, and then it's really hot and unbearable to wear. That's one
mm,
of the pieces also that has
mhm.
it has this very physical, soft feeling, but then actually wearing it, it's not. It's not
Yeah.
easy.
But so their heads are cut off. It means that you have hundreds and hundreds of little dolls and puppies, and the head is yours.
Well, yes, you
So
can see it that way as well.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So you in the barn you don't have a head,
Starting to sound
and
like a psychopath. It's
no. No, it's how I see it, and it's very interesting in a way. You don't create, I mean, you create a meaning for an object, but somehow it looks like the object creates meaning for itself because how you use it.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I mean when when I think of the objects as being like it's a sort of a stage or a playground in a way. That it's essentially I suppose you could call them toys.
Hmm.
They do have a meaning on their own, but then when you actually do something with it, it creates another meaning, and
Yeah.
it's and it that this way of working with working in art is something that I'm very much attracted to, because I can come back to the same thing over and over again, and I usually do that as long as I find something new from the same thing. And then when the point finally comes that I no longer, it feels like I'm repeating just the same thing that I've already done like many times. That's probably the time to stop with that work.
Okay, but it's interesting that it changes meaning. It's not like I have this little car and I'm telling a story about the car, how my father gave me this car, and but here we have an object without a story that creates a new story or a new narrative or a new feeling out of it without talking about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It kind of like depends on which way you want to use it. If it's the costume, for example, the video that I'm assuming that you saw, the one that I put it on and then I tried to
Yes.
get up like a, it's like a baby trying to walk for the
Yeah.
first time in a way, and that was actually the first video that was made
Oh.
with the costume, and after that it's yeah, yeah, like taking things further and further. For example, for one festival, I in the summer heat, I think it was plus 30 or 35 or something like that, and I wore it for 3 hours and like walked around with audience and just basically talking. And it that was really an absurd feeling. I mean, people, because my head is not covered,
Yeah.
it's completely open. Everything else is covered with the toys, but my head is visible, and you can see this bearded head that's completely red and sweating, and you can see how uncomfortable it is. And
Mm.
still people approach me and ask, like, can they take a selfie with me? Like it's really strange Disney mascot that it's and you still want, you see the sweaty guy like this, and then there's this
Yeah.
happy selfie photo with the
Great.
and
Yeah, I could hear you breathing heavily with the weight of the suit.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And yeah, just curious about, I mean, also through looking it from the one-to-one lens, how did the art changes and what can be one-to-one art. I saw also your piece Tumori.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What was that about? I just saw a picture and read a bit about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
it's like the name suggests. It is a tumor, a
Hmm.
soft communicating device. I'd
Uh-huh.
say that it has like speakers built in the soft tumor that I again wear on my head, so that that part of my face is visible, and then it has this appendage that you
Hmm.
can which are actually headphones, so you can connect
Oh,
with me for a while. And the thing that you actually hear from the headphones is me breathing, and
oh,
that's basically the idea of the connection, that you just stay there and breathe for a while. And
mhm.
like the tumor itself has speakers, and it continuously makes sounds. So it's these beeps and blips that are from social media notifications. So it,
Uh-huh.
it, it makes constant sound, and then you're trying to be there in the moment with this really weird guy in the suit and with
So
the
the spectator has one tumor and you have one tumor, and the
yeah.
tumor is communicating with its cell or metastasis. Yeah. Wow, it's really, I mean, just as hearing it, it tells so many stuff, and it brings, I mean, a feeling of that is not so maybe nice, but also pretty funny.
Yes.
Good.
Most of the participants felt really weird when trying it on.
Good.
Yeah,
So,
that's in this one-to-one context.
yeah.
It's a nice piece in that sense that you actually you can go to a shopping mall with it,
Mhm.
and then you ask for people that do they want to take part in the piece, and if they are willing, then they put the headphones on, and even with all the things happening around you, it becomes this private moment. So you take this moment to yourself, and which can be uncomfortable,
Mm.
or it can be relaxing. It
Yeah.
depends on how you can how is your own mindset. Can you in a way let go and be there in the moment and
Mm.
just breathe? And yeah, people
Wow.
who meditate, I suppose that's really easy or
Yeah.
easier.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, yeah. And it gives you really puts you back. I mean, this is why I love one-to-one. It puts you back in the moment,
Yeah.
and what you came with to see the show, it's reflected very fast. It's not like you're projecting to these all artists on the stage or in a gallery what they are doing, but you have to be more present and
Yeah,
involved.
for sure.
There is just one more thing that I want to ask you, since you have like so much experience with one-to-one, or yeah, so much experience. What is your what is interesting for you to keep coming back to one-to-one art? And what is the difference between performing for the larger audience or in a gallery or
Mhm. I suppose it boils down to communication in one way or the other. It's if you're on a stage, you probably can see the audience somehow. In a one-to-one situation, there's not really many places to hide for either one. Obviously, it requires a certain amount of trust, which is, I mean, in a way, it's a huge privilege that someone is so interested in you that they give their time to you to view your piece, and vice versa. Of course, it's
Mhm.
yeah, and it gives you this leeway, like you can more react on the spot, like feeling that okay, now we're in a situation where I might prolong this or take this further or ask the participant something. And it's well, this is obvious, but it is more intimate, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
is fascinating.
Mm. We just finished one-to-one workshop in our house in House of Klajn in Klanjec in Croatia, and
Mhm.
we did and also in the podcast talks we talk about this what one-to-one creates and obviously it's intimacy
Mhm.
and the need of contact or possibility of contact with oneself or the other and
Mhm.
need for safety also. But what you underline now, it's trust. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially when most of the works that I do, they somehow play with the feeling of uh, uneasiness in a way. It's you don't you might feel it, that now it's something completely weird is happening, and you probably don't immediately grasp what's going on. But the funny thing is, at the same time, there is this element of trust, because I mean, if there wouldn't be, you probably wouldn't be in the situation, because usually uh, I try to offer an easy way out, so that if you totally feel uncomfortable, you are welcome to leave, and I'm not offended by it.
yeah, yeah, good. Oh, thank you for these insights and for the just going again in your pieces and taking them out from the archives for a little podcast.
No worries. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I think we're gonna finish here, and thank you, Harry, for a wonderful talk.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Good. See you in the next episode with a new artist, new ideas, and new perspectives. Have a good day.
Yes.